And welcome back. It is the 9th of June, higher plus 5 a day. And let's just jump straight to the first one. So the first one looks like a typical textbook style question where they just want you to do a certain thing. So I'm going to say, let's bring the screen back. So I'm going to say that x is equal to 0.913 recurring. Then I'm going to notice there's two numbers that are recurring. So I'm going to multiply by 100, which means that x is equal to 91.313 recurring. And of course, the point is, the recurring part repeats, which means that when I take this away, so I take away, well, 100 minus 1 is 99x, and 91.3 minus 0.9 gives me 90.4, which means that x is going to be equal to divide both sides by 99, 90.4 over 99. Now that's clearly unacceptable because I've got a decimal point in a fraction. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 10, which is going to give me 904 over 990. Now, this is a non-calculator, or this could be a non-calculator exam question. So what I'm going to do is observe that that's 990, and that is 495, which is half of 990. So I'm going to clearly show that I understand that when I divide by 2, that gives me 495 here, and 904 divided by 2 is 452, and I have proven it to be true. Question done. Good question, that. Next one. Okay, so it gives me a piece of graph paper. F of x equals this thing here. Find f minus 1 of x. So far, so good. So f of x is equal to, what does f of x do? Well, it takes a number and it adds 1 and then it divides by 3. So the inverse function is going to do the opposite back to front. In other words, times by 3 and then take away 1. So far, so good. Then it says draw these two functions. So to draw f minus 1 of x, well, that's easier, isn't it? Because I know, let's do a quick table of values for this one here, but I know that this is going to be a straight line and it's going to go through 0, minus 1. I put in minus 2, so minus 2 is 3 times minus 2 minus 1, which is minus 7, and put in 2, and that's going to give me 3 times 2, which is 6, minus 1, which is 5. So if I plot, remember I'm doing f minus 1 of x first. So minus 2 goes to minus 7, which is down here. 0 goes to minus 1, which is here. And this should be a straight line, or I've made an error. And 2 goes to 5, which is up here. Now, in an exam, I haven't got one here. Get a calculator out and do this properly. So I'm going to draw my line, which looks something like this. Then the question says, can I draw f of x? This one's slightly harder, so I'm going to rearrange f of x so it's a third of x plus a third. Just makes it slightly easier to picture what's going on here. So now I know this is a straight line with gradient a third that goes through a third, which is going to be about here. Now again, let's put some numbers in. So let's do it over here so we don't get mixed up. So x and y. So if x equals 0, minus 2 and 2. If x equals 0, then I get a third. X equals minus 2, then it's minus 2/3 plus a third, which is minus a third. And if x equals 2, well, then it's 2/3 plus another third, which is 1. So let's plot these points. So 0 against a third, I've done. Minus 2 against minus a third. This isn't going to be brilliant. It's going to be close enough, which is this one here. And 2 goes against 1. Well, I can do that more accurately, which is here. And that gives me a straight line, which looks something like this. There we go. Now, it doesn't say here, but the thing that links line 1 with line 2 is they are reflected in the line y equals x. But a bit harder to see that here. Either way, that's done. Again, in your exam, please do a much better job than I did, because I'm doing it on an iPad. Not very neat, but you've got the idea. Next one. Oh, got vectors. Excellent. OAB is a triangle. M is a point on AB such that A to M, M to B. So A to M, M2 is 5. So that's 5/7. And this little bit down here is 2/7. O to A equals A on the diagram. O to B equals B on the diagram. Express M to O. Right. Let's just write it out. So M to O is going to be, well, it's going to be 2/7 of A to B plus B to O, which is going to be 2/7 of A to B that I don't know, but I can work that out easily because that's just B minus A. And then add on B to O, which is going to be minus B, because I'm going the wrong way to the arrow, which is going to give me, well, it's going to be minus 2/7 of A, and then it is 2/7 of B minus an entire B, which is minus 5/7 of B. And that is question done. Decent mix of questions today. That graphing question, I didn't do that very well, but you make sure you do that better in your exam. Let me know how it went for you. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.